keep doing this. I think it's beneath me. The truth was put out there. You hear my side and that person's side. And here we are having to address it yet again.
After being together for several years, enduring endless rumors, and surviving public drama, Jackie shocked everyone by filing for divorce. But it wasn't just any divorce. Jackie demanded an astonishing $300 million from Doug. However, this was only the beginning of a surprising twist in the story. Doug wasn't about to let false accusations ruin his name or let the public believe these claims without a fight. At first, it seemed like Doug was in serious trouble. Many assumed he was guilty of the accusations, and everyone believed Jackie's side of the story. But Doug wasn't going to sit back and let everything he had worked for crumble. He quickly assembled an elite legal team that included top divorce lawyers and private investigators to dig into Jackie's claims. He knew something was off. At first glance, Jackie's story seemed believable. She painted herself as the wronged wife, seeking justice after years of mistreatment. But Doug understood that this wasn't just about his fortune, this was about his reputation. He had spent a long time building his name in the industry, and he wasn't about to let false accusations destroy everything he had achieved. Behind the scenes, Doug's team began investigating Jackie's financial history. What they uncovered was shocking. Jackie's financial records didn't add up.
Sure. Now Valentine's Day is tomorrow. I do know you're in Sacramento. What's going to be the Valentine's Day plans? You have to tell me.
You know, the team's going to be playing Phoenix on Valentine's Day.
Oh.
I have to shoot a podcast, and I have,
Okay.
a party that they're doing for me here. So I won't be going to this trip. So This will be our first Valentine that I won't be with them. So we had Valentine's last night. We had dinner, we gave gifts, and it was so amazing. And I told him, "You're my lifetime Valentine."
Her spending habits were unusual, with unexplained bank transfers and offshore accounts raising red flags. Investigators also discovered that Jackie had been moving large sums of money around, withdrawing cash without any clear reason. To make things even more suspicious, some of her business ventures were generating unreported income. Jackie had been claiming that Doug's alleged infidelity and disrespect had left her emotionally and financially broken. But the evidence told a different story. Doug's legal team dug deeper, and soon Jackie's carefully constructed narrative started to crumble. The numbers didn't lie, and Doug was now prepared to make his next move. As the day of the court hearing approached, Jackie walked into the courtroom with confidence. She had the media on her side and a story that painted Doug as the villain. But Doug had been preparing for this moment, and his legal team came in with a stack of documents that would reveal the truth. The courtroom fell silent as Doug's lawyer began presenting bank statements, tax records, and business documents. These records exposed Jackie's financial misdeeds over the years.
All the slander going on with these ladies, I just wanted to take a step back and enjoy my time, focusing on what means the world to me, and that's my family.
Jackie's confident demeanor quickly began to change as the documents were presented. She sat up straighter, realizing that Doug wasn't bluffing. Doug's lawyer revealed that Jackie had been funneling money into secret accounts while publicly claiming she was financially struggling. There were wire transfers to offshore banks, hidden investments under fake business names, and even real estate purchases disguised as business expenses. The room was stunned as Doug's lawyer exposed how Jackie had lied about her personal income. While Jackie had claimed she was struggling, the evidence showed that she had quietly made millions through side deals and investments. The judge's expression turned serious as the details were laid out. What had started as a messy divorce was quickly turning into a potential case of financial fraud. Jackie's lawyer scrambled to respond, but the damage had already been done. Doug's team had uncovered too much evidence, and it was clear that Jackie's story was falling apart. The judge carefully reviewed the documents, and Jackie's confident front disappeared. She now appeared nervous, even panicked, as Doug's lawyer explained how Jackie's financial actions had violated both state and federal financial disclosure laws. But Doug wasn't finished yet. His team had more than just financial documents. They had uncovered evidence that Jackie's betrayal went much deeper than anyone could have imagined. It turned out that Jackie had been planning the divorce for over a year. Doug's investigators uncovered a trail of emails, phone records, and financial transactions that revealed Jackie had been preparing for this moment long before she filed for divorce. Jackie had been moving money into hidden accounts, spreading false rumors about Doug, and building a case to paint herself as the innocent victim, all while planning her next financial move.
I felt like all of y'all had turned against me. I felt like everybody was like, Jackie, you know, we're just gonna talk about her, we're gonna say these mean things, and I was seeing black at that point.
But the biggest shock came when Jackie's own assistant, Melissa, stepped forward. Melissa had worked for Jackie for years, and at first, she had stayed loyal to her employer. But after witnessing the court proceedings, Melissa's perspective changed. Melissa revealed that Jackie had instructed her to gather dirt on Doug long before the divorce was even filed. Jackie had asked Melissa to dig through Doug's emails, text messages, and business records, looking for anything that could be twisted into evidence of wrongdoing. When Melissa couldn't find anything solid, Jackie took matters into her own hands. Melissa confessed that Jackie had been feeding false stories to the media for months. The rumors about Doug's infidelity? Jackie planted them. The stories about Doug disrespecting her in public? Jackie staged them. Melissa even admitted that Jackie had paid off a few low-level tabloids to publish negative headlines about Doug. Jackie's goal was simple: she wanted Doug to appear guilty, so when the divorce hit the courts, public sympathy would be on her side. For a while, it worked. The media painted Jackie as the heartbroken wife, struggling to recover from Doug's alleged betrayal. But now the truth was out, and Jackie's carefully crafted story was falling apart fast. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse for Jackie, Doug had one final surprise. After presenting the financial documents and exposing Jackie's media manipulation, Doug's lawyer handed over one last piece of evidence. The courtroom went silent as the lawyer passed a folder to the judge. Inside this folder were communications between Jackie and some of Doug's biggest business rivals. The emails and phone records showed that Jackie had been working behind Doug's back, sharing sensitive business information with his competitors. Contracts, client lists, and even product strategies were sent to Doug's rivals, all while Jackie was pretending to be the supportive wife. The judge's face turned grave as he reviewed the documents. Jackie's lawyer sat frozen, unable to come up with a defense. This wasn't just a personal betrayal, it was professional and financial sabotage. Jackie had crossed legal lines, and the fallout could lead to criminal charges. Doug stood up, adjusted his jacket, and turned to face Jackie. Her face was pale, and her confident facade had completely vanished. Doug had exposed her for what she truly was, a manipulative and calculated individual who had been playing a long game all along. The judge took a moment to review the evidence before speaking. His words were direct and serious. Given the nature of this evidence, the case will need to be reconsidered, and further investigation into potential financial fraud and conspiracy will be necessary.
That we can sit down and have a conversation,
About
everybody, about how do we move forward.
You keep preaching sisterhood. I need you to remember that when those hard conversations come about. And
I'm seriously ready, okay? Pinky promise.
what is this
To sisterhood, but if I think they like bucking, they buck, I'm a nut.
That one statement changed everything. This was no longer just a messy celebrity divorce. It was now a potential criminal case. Jackie's attempt to secure a massive $300 million payout was crumbling before her eyes. Not only was her claim for spousal support in jeopardy, but she could now be facing legal charges for financial fraud and corporate espionage. Jackie sat frozen in disbelief. Her lawyer was motionless, knowing there was no way to spin this in her favor. Doug had completely flipped the narrative. After the court session, Doug's legal team walked out with quiet confidence, and Doug followed behind them, his head held high. For the first time in months, Doug looked like a man who had regained control of his life. He had protected his fortune and his name. While Doug's reputation was on the rise, Jackie's was rapidly falling. The aftermath began immediately. Social media exploded with headlines about Jackie's alleged financial fraud and manipulation. Major news outlets covered the story extensively, and public sympathy for Jackie disappeared overnight. Her Instagram comments flooded with negative remarks. Fans who once supported her now called her a liar and a gold digger. Even influencers and celebrities who had previously backed her went silent, distancing themselves from Jackie. Brands that had partnered with her started to drop her quietly. Jackie's PR team tried to manage the damage, but it was too late. The evidence was irrefutable. Melissa's confession about Jackie planting false stories about Doug made its way into the media, and the public now knew about the betrayal. Meanwhile, Doug handled the aftermath with quiet grace. He didn't give any media interviews or try to make a public spectacle of the situation. He let the facts speak for themselves. Paparazzi caught him leaving the courtroom, giving only a small nod to the cameras before getting into his car. Doug wasn't interested in revenge, he had already won. However, Jackie's legal troubles were far from over. The evidence of hidden accounts and business sabotage could lead to criminal charges. If prosecutors pursued the case, Jackie could face serious consequences, including fines or jail time. And if that happens, any hope of securing a financial settlement from Doug would be gone. Jackie's reputation in Hollywood is now in free fall. Brands are distancing themselves from her, and her future as a public figure is hanging by a thread. Even some of her closest friends have gone quiet, unwilling to be publicly associated with her. As for Doug, his comeback story has just begun. With the weight of the scandal lifted, he's already making moves to rebuild his business empire. Companies that once distanced themselves from him during the divorce rumors are now reaching out again. Doug's reputation as a businessman is stronger than ever, and public sympathy is now firmly on his side. Jackie thought she had Doug cornered, but Doug played the long game. He kept his head down, gathered the evidence, and let the truth do the talking. Now the world knows what really happened behind closed doors. What do you think? Do you believe Doug was justified in exposing Jackie, or did he take things too far?